all my stitchy friends, welcome. This is Suki, the Brown-Eyed Stitcher. Welcome to my little corner of the stitchy world. And I think that this will be a quick-ish kind of video, at least quick for my videos that tend to be like an hour or so. I think this will be shorter today. And there's reasons for that, but I guess it depends on how like chit-chatty I am. First off, I'm okay. I really am. I forgot to talk about this in my last video 2 weeks ago, but it is kind of stitching related what happened. I think that I had started stitching in hand. Story time. Let me put my story time brain on. I had started stitching in hand like in March or April, and I loved it. I loved the ease of just getting things out and just being able to work on it. It allowed me to like switch projects very, very easily, which was really nice through Mania. And I was excited for the prospect of like not having accessories. I do have some hoops. I don't like to use hoops, but I have some, and I keep trying them because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll like them, and then I'm like, I don't really like this. Why do I keep trying? And I have some Q-snaps, and obviously I have like my really, really big scroll frame for my Heaven and Earth design, and I have a stand for that. But I was kind of excited about the prospect of like getting rid of the accessories, except for maybe like, obviously, what my bookshelf is on. Yeah, and then about 3 weeks ago, my wrist started really hurting. Actually, that's a lie. I don't mean to lie. My wrist started constantly having a throbbing pain, and it had been hurting before. I just didn't pay attention to it. Like it would hurt when I would do things like hold a mug or a kettle. I'm left-handed, so most of the time all my stuff is here, but sometimes I'm holding things in my right hand, and anything that created weight here like this, I would notice it. Or if I had to lift something heavy above my head, I would notice it. Anyway, so at some point recently, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, it started like majorly hurting. Like I could not even hold my stitching, and that's kind of when I realized that I think it's because I was stitching in hand, and my wrist was just not happy with holding the stitching so that it was like this for me. It made my wrist was at this weird angle, and I think it just wasn't happy with me. There is probably some other strain going on also that stitching in hand exacerbated. Anyway, so I stopped stitching in hand. I have a Q-snap that I did go back to using, and it does mean that instead of getting rid of the Q-snap, I'm actually looking into another stand and some more scroll rods. I was thinking a lap stand for a while, but I think I'm actually going with the Lowry. I think I'm going to go with a Lowry stand and some scroll rods. I think that's what I'm doing. I just haven't done any ordering yet. So anyway, it went away for a while, a couple weeks. It did go away. Actually, it went away in time for me to be able to do the ropes course with my daughter, the ropes course and the zip line. I don't even remember if I talked about that. It was so fun. But even a few days before, I wasn't sure if my wrist would like be painful the whole time or not, and it was fine. And it's been fine for the last couple weeks until like 2 days ago, and I was like, oh, it's hurting again, and like not a small amount. So, but I did just this morning, somebody suggested to me putting lavender oil on it morning and night, and you won't notice a difference right away, but it can help heal stuff. So she had experienced it both like with her elbow and her knee, and like they had been long ongoing problems, and the doctor had told her like, we can give you pain meds or you can do surgery, and she was like, I don't want either of those. And then she's like, I'm going to try lavender oil, and her problem cleared up. Anyway, it's worth a try because I already have lavender oil. Meanwhile, I just needed to stabilize my wrist so that I don't do dumb things, I guess. Okay, let's talk stitching. So my travel stitching, the one that I grab when I'm listening to a read aloud or in a meeting or something, is Little House Needleworks Calendar Girl Series April. This is the 4th, obviously it's April. I don't need to tell you what number of month it is. I have January and February and March finished. March was, I think, the finish I showed on my last video. This is getting close, it feels like. I really love the color between like this blue and this red and this brown. Like, they just go so well together. Look at the flowers in her dress, they're so cute. And I still love that bird. I love that. There's even like little water drops coming down here. So what I need to finish is this blue runs all the way down to this dark blue, and then she's got some little legs and shoes down here. And then I need to finish the rill. That's it. So she's feeling like she's close, but not close enough for me to like set aside all my stitching plans in order to just get her finished. She's not that close yet. And also maybe because I'm enjoying my other, like, all my stitchy things right now. So maybe that's why I don't have like this super pull to finish that. All right, the next one, look, I printed out the cover sheet. This is Canopy Heart. It is Dakota Detweiler, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it is now retired. She is now found at Charting Creations. I don't know that this one is up there yet, but you can no longer get this exact chart from Heaven and Earth Design. This is one I stitch on. I started stitching it with Alara, and others have joined us, and it's super fun. I use the hashtag Canopy Heart, but you can, I think some people are using Canopy Heart SAL. I just don't tend to remember that much, and nobody else is using Canopy Heart. We can. We're here. Ta-da! Wait, where's my paper? I love this chart so much. This is 28 count fabric, 1/1 full cross. And I put in 500 stitches, so we're at 800 now. And it's not nearly enough progress. I really want to see more, but I'm only working on this one day on the last day of every month right now. So it's not gonna get more love than that for a while. We'll see. This also, I just want to say, this is actually really stiff fabric. I think it is this considered Aida? I don't actually know. It's 28 count, and it's super, super thick. It was super, super stiff. But I wanted to try soaking it to see if it would loosen up, and that's why it's all like wrinkly now, because I didn't bother ironing it afterwards. But it helped. It's still like stiffer than my Lugana, but it's significantly less stiffer than it used to be. So I just wanted to see if it would work. I just used like warm water. I didn't even, no soap, I wasn't washing it, I didn't make it really hot or anything. I didn't even look up instructions on what kind of soaking I was supposed to do. The next one, oh, I'm excited to show you this one. This is Queen of the Night by Josephine Wall, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And this is, when finished, this is a gift going to a friend. I'm excited to show you this, and then I'm going to tell you a disappointment about it. A disappointment that I'll get over, but I feel like this was an older charting for Heaven and Earth Design. Like, it's been a while since it was charted, and if it were to be like charted fresh today, it would come out a little different in spots. Probably better. So, okay. First, I'll show you here. So I was roughly here-ish. I was probably something like here last video. I had the 3 pages done, and I had been working on this page when I decided I wanted to see the moon, and so I needed to stitch across the top in order to reach the moon. And I did it. I reached the moon and then made it all the way to the other side. Like, that's the other corner. Corner to corner! Look at that. I am so excited. If I give you those weird eyes over the top of this fabric, my daughter's going to want this for the thumbnail. So, here you go, Kaylin. Okay, so look at that moon. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. This over here is basically all 310 except for like 2 stitches on the edge, which is so random. Like, are those 2 stitches really going to make a difference? Not only that, but the 2 stitches are different colors of 2 stitches. You can't tell, but it's there. I can see like corner to corner, and then this is about halfway down. Oh, I just love it. I'm so, so glad that I went over to see the moon. Okay, so now let me tell you, the information about it. 25 count, easy count, 2 over 1 tent stitch. I put in 3,481 stitches, so it is at 19.48%. Canopy heart is like 0.27%, so we haven't even reached a percent yet. This is almost 20% now. So look at this area right in here. Look how soft that looks and gorgeous. Look at that same area right there. It's like 2 colors. It's like 823 and 995 or 996 or something like that. It's 2 colors. It doesn't look like that. How can I show this at the same place? It'll look fine when all is said and done, but it feels disappointing, like from Heaven and Earth Design. Like, it doesn't feel like what I'm, like the quality that I'm used to from them. And I do think that this is an older charting. Though I don't know. I guess I'd have to go online to see when they put it up on the website. And yes, I do know that this is a smaller stitch count, like it's 150,000 total stitch count, but still, like, when I can see what this looks like and what this looks like, but then in between there to have like this, it's just kind of weird to me. But overall, I don't think it's going to be a big problem by the time I get to the end. I was just, I guess, surprised at that, to see that. But it's gorgeous and beautiful, and it will continue to be stitched every other weekend until I can stitch on it even more than every other weekend, because this piece I will finish next year. I don't have a firm end date. It'll depend on when I plan to go see my friend who lives several states away from me. And we haven't planned out when we're going to see each other yet, but my hope is to finish it by the end of March. So it needs a lot of love coming up. Next, I worked on Sabrina by Mirabilia. This is one I started with Needleberry Stitcher. Where are we at here? I did not work on her very long, and the reason being is because a couple reasons. I had a super rough weekend like 2 weekends ago, and came off of that really rough weekend into the time period when I was supposed to stitch on her. So I didn't really. There was a couple days I think that I didn't, and there was one day that instead I didn't really stitch on her, but I did make a video about stitching 1/1 skin. So that's already posted, so you can go find it. You can find that video. But this is 28 count linen by Picture This Plus in the colorway Sprite. And I did get 159 stitches in if these were as charted stitches. So in truth, I really did put in, like, what's 159? Well, 150 times 4 is 600. So let's just say I put in roughly 600 stitches, probably a little bit less, but I worked in some more rows up here, but they are quite wide at this point, and I felt like it was so slow. And I wanted to get down to where the dress is going to start up again, so that if I needed a break from the skin, I could jump into the dress and go back and forth, making sure that I did some skin while I was doing it. I really don't mind doing the skin, and actually what I ended up doing was picking the one color and stitching it completely down the back of her. Right here is where the dress comes in, and it comes in like up here. Where's the picture? See, there's her back, and the dress like comes up here, and then, you know, obviously her arms. Her arms comes that way. But that kind of gives you an idea of how much skin I still have to fill in. But now, if for some reason the skin, I just don't want to, I can jump down here. But really, the skin isn't scary for me at all. But she's gorgeous, and I love it. And I love the dimension that the 1/1 skin gives. Alrighty. Oops. Okay, next I pulled out Frodo and Galadriel. This is artwork by Matt Stewart, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And this was exciting because I reached my yearly stitch goal for this piece. So that means that this piece is going to be put away and won't come out. Probably it won't come out again until next year, to be honest. This is 25 count Lugana, 2/1 tent stitch, and it is my oldest whip. Started in 2016. And let's see if there we go. Look at that. So after I had started Queen of the Night and decided to go all the way across and get to that corner, I decided to do the same thing with Frodo and Galadriel. So I just started working my way across the top. I think maybe somewhere here is halfway across the top. I love like this patch of light yellow, you know, that sunlight showing through, but I love it. So at the beginning of the year, I had like this part and then bits down here stitched. So like just past this branch, basically. Everything else, that was 10,000 stitches worth. So this is like 6% now. 6.03%. And it's big. I still have a long way to go on this piece. And I don't mind at all. My plan is to finish this piece in 2005. So, 3 more years. 3 more years. I'm sure I can do it unless my life drastically changes and I'm like not stitching a whole lot anymore. We'll see. Maybe I'll just adjust all my other plans to make sure that this happens, because I am dedicated to seeing my Lord of the Rings Middle-earth wall to fruition. It'll take me longer than a decade. Whatever. It's gonna be done. So once I met my goal on that piece, once I hit that 10,000 for the year, I considered pulling out another full coverage that I hadn't yet met my yearly goal on, which is all of them. But instead I decided I really wanted to get some work done on my temperature library. This is by Christie's Corner Needle Work. Christie's Corner Needlework on Etsy. It's going to be linked below. And I have never done a temperature one before, and I love it. My palette are jewel tones. This might help if I show you. It's hard because they're on different sides of the card, so how am I going to show you all of them all together? That is awful, but that's what you get today. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, I did not at all write down how far I am in this piece. So, one moment, please. Nope, that's not. Okay, so it looks like I have put in just under 1,000 more stitches, and it's at 27.78% now. What am I doing? Here we go. Ta-da! I did all of March and the first, 5 books of April in, 2 days. So clearly I can make progress on this if I just do it. Okay, this really makes me laugh. This right here, so this is March. What, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. March 7th, my dad's birthday. March 7th was 80 degrees. And then 6 days later, this super dark purple, that's my darkest color. It means it was below 32 degrees. It was like 26 degrees 6 days later. In 6 days, we went from 80 to 26. And then you can see over here, we went right back up. So, but at least you can generally see like a lot of dark colors here, and then a lot of the lighter ones are coming in here. But I collected all the data since I was behind, and I wanted to, like when I was stitching, I wanted a really easy way to know what I needed to stitch. So I have my colors, and I have this, which is my legend, right? My temperature range and my colors. And you'll notice this happened. I'll explain in a second. So then I made a spreadsheet where I put the date and the temperature and then the floss color. And I noticed as I was putting in the temperatures that I had a lot of temperatures in May and June that were above 92 degrees, which was my highest range. Anything above 92 was going to be this color, 915. But it was going to be so many. I was like, somehow I need to figure out getting in another color, at least one other color. So what I did was I found where in my chart I had already used. So I had this light yellow was the highest temperature I had yet stitched. So I knew I couldn't adjust anything below that point because I'd stitched those already out and it would mess it all up. So that's this one right here. 75 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is floss color 17. So then I was able to, actually the highest color might have been 307 and I just left 17. This is the color I added, was 907. And that allowed me to add just one more range so that now it's anything over 95 degrees gets this higher color. So I'm happier with that. I'm glad I was able to like make that adjustment. If I had not been behind, I would not have been able to make that adjustment. I would have had to just stick with my original color plan. So I don't know if that means that you should get behind in your stitching or not. But there you go. That was my experience. So that was April, and when I stitched the book, I would highlight it. And here I am in March, and then I've got May and June here. And when I get to the end of June, we'll see how, I'm sure July will be over by that point. So then I can do all of July and see where we are and move forward, and it's going to be beautiful. I love it. And as you can see, I still have all these blank spaces because I still can't decide if I want to do the charting or if I want to get her little pack that has other options that I could put in. I think I do want to get the pack, I just haven't done it yet, and so I keep saying that I don't know. But let's be real, I think I'm going to get it. This is 18 count oatmeal Aida, and it's stitched 2 over 1. So, oh, the piece I'm currently working on is Under the Sea. This was a stitch along in 2017. It is my second oldest WIP. And the artist is Doreen Jones. and it was a stitch along with Lakeside Needlecraft in 2017. There is another stitch along by Frosted Pumpkin happening right now. The one with like the little mermaids with the purple hair. And the dolphins. That was like the first clue. It's not that stitch along clearly. So, here we are. See, this is my Q-snap. And here I am. I finished the green fish and this yellow fish, and I've got the ray. Isn't he adorable? He'll look so much better backstitched, but like his little eyes and his mouth, it's so cute. So we've got his, he'll come up here, and then his tail will come down here. And then there's another fish. I think it's another green fish is right here. And then this seaweed border I need to bring down. And then there's little air bubbles that I need to stitch as well. So this, I might finish that section this week. That's actually my goal. My goal is to finish that section this week, and that will be part 8 out of 12 done. And then I will be on the last row of pages, of parts, whatever. And that's exciting. That's really exciting to me. It is 18 count Ada. It was dyed for the stitch along, so I don't know if Lakeside Needlecraft sells it still or anymore, but it's cool. It's like ombre, so it's like lighter blue at the top and darker blue at the bottom. And of course, the last piece I'm working on is my Treasure Hunt Bookshelf Super Size Max Color version. Artwork by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And this is on 28 count, easy count, 2/1 stitch. We have put in 8,891 stitches for a total of 44.30%. Every time I hit a new percentage, it's like I'm getting so much closer to 50%. And once you hit 50%, like, you're on the second half of the piece. Like, that's kind of crazy. Okay, here we are in its entirety. This is halfway through that first shelf. But look at this. So isn't that fairy gorgeous? She is so, so, so pretty. And there's a little butterfly down here. And then look at that window. It's like shines so, so bright. And this is the book I'm currently on. And as you can see, it's completely different down here as it is from the top. So I started this book and was really excited because I was stitching a whole lot of purple. Purple's not actually my favorite color, but I do love it for my hair, so it is a color I'm very fond of. And I was stitching a lot of purple up here in the top, like basically here. That's like all purple. And then it turned into kind of more like this coloring here. So I got my hopes up, but it's okay. We've made our peace with it. It is not a purple book, but the bottom half is, it's actually going to be a knight in shining armor. This book title, it says Shining Armor by a knight. This one says Racing the Moon, and apparently there's 2 titles in between Racing the Moon and Shining Armor, and one of them is like dancing with the colors or something like that about this fairy. I can't remember, but you can't really even tell that there are book titles on there. But that's what it's looking like. So pretty. And of course I love it, because what's not to love? Okay, that's all my projects. So basically, my plan for the next 2 weeks is to work on all of those projects all over again. Today, I should also pull out, it's the 12th, the day that I'm filming. So I need to pull out my Randall Spangler piece, which I didn't show because I didn't work on it in the last 2 weeks. It's only on the 12th. So that one I need to pull out today and stitch on a little bit. And the only other thing I have to show you today is something I bought. I only bought one thing in the last 2 weeks. And this, it's a Dakota Detweiler piece. Okay, story time again. So when I found out Dakota was leaving Heaven and Earth Design, like I went to her like Facebook page and was looking at her gorgeous paintings, and I saw this one that I was like, that was never charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Like, I want it. So when I found out that she was going to Charting Creations, I sent this over, well, I was talking with Alara, and I said, have you seen this painting? And we both decided to email Charting Creations to see if it was going to be one of the ones that they were charting. And we both got the response that it not only was it one that they were going to chart, it was in the first batch that they were charting, and it would be coming out the next week. Well, like 2 or 3 days later, it was up. Like it wasn't even the next week. So we bought it right away. It's called Spirit of the Phoenix, and it's very similar to Canopy Heart, but it's a phoenix, and it's beautiful. I've wanted a phoenix piece for a very long time now, but I haven't really loved the options that are out there. But this one is so, so, so gorgeous. It combines nature and stars and the blues and the phoenix for me. So it's perfect. I was thinking that I would then show you, because I was printing out these cover sheets, this one and Canopy Hearts. I was like, I'll show all my stitchy friends all my full coverage charts that I own. I'll just do it at the end of the video. And then I was printing out the cover sheets for them and decided I shouldn't do this at the end of a regular whip video. There's like 50 of these papers that I printed out. It needs its own video. I had no idea I had that many. Most of them are freebies, actually. But I really want to show them all. So soon, maybe next week, I will do a video to show my patterns from my full coverage patterns, because not all of these are Heaven and Earth Design. So that's all I've got. We covered what I stitched and the one thing I bought, which I'm just going to show you one more time. Again, this is at Charting Creations, so you can go and you can buy it, and it's a very, very reasonable stitch count. It's like the same size as Queen of the Night, so it's about 150. But it's so pretty. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So I need to go now, my friends, but just remember that you are loved and that you are beautiful, you have value, and that whatever you're dealing with, you've got this. And you can always reach out to me here in the comments, on Instagram if you have it. I'm really terrible at email, but I could leave my email in the description box below. daughter of mine, let's do that. So those of you who maybe don't have Instagram or just want to go have an email, you have a way to contact me that way too. So anyway, I am sending you all my love and hope that you're doing okay. Bye.